Morning. Good to see you. Going to try and get some stuff welded up here for this brake line. This is the last one we've been working on. Going to tack up this bracket. We're going to tack this on, and then we'll do the back one on the side of the differential. Remember, we're moving that thing, and we'll get them kind of, make sure they look nice and clean. And then we're going to spray paint it. Let's get started. Yeah. Hey, call her good. There we go. Hot dog, look at that. Let's call it a wrap on that session. Woohoo! I have some friends who like to remind me that if you have to grind your welds, you're not a welder, you're a grinder. With that in mind, I'm going to do some grinding. Oh crap! Shazam! We'll run. Spray a little brake cleaner and make her dry. Won't take much now for the paint to fly. Make sure she's clean and free from all grease. Then you can spray her for some sweet relief. Self-etching primer. Amazing. Let some of this paint dry, and then we'll come put the final coat, and then we're going to make a last brake line. Haha. It's cold out here today. Cold in Colorado today. It's freezing. I got the back half of that long run done. I've just kind of made a template here out of just some baling wire, nothing fancy, welding wire kind of stuff that I'm going to transfer over to get me started on my last little bit from the proportioning valve all the way down to the connection to catch up with my last brake line. And again, I'm just using this Eastwood straightener. You've seen these before. They're not crazy expensive. They're not exactly cheap, but it will bring the curve out of this line, which is super hopeful. I think so, at least. I like to start with a pretty nice straight piece of tubing. This is NICOP. I get this from Summit, I think is where I got this piece. So you can see there. I mean, you saw what it was when I started. So, pretty good. I'm going to mark it about where I want that bend. Hot dog, that might have just worked. So we may have to rebend. We may have to do this guy again. Ah, boy, it just is a tight bend right there. All right, let's see what happens here. I got my template. I'm just kind of fishing around right now to see where I can kind of shoot this dude. I want to go out and back. So I want it to kind of stick to that, hug that firewall. There's a clip on the firewall that used to be a brake line clip, believe it or not, that I'm going to try and utilize. Okay, let me take her up here and see what's hiding underneath. All right, let's see what it looks like over here. Boy, that looks good, man. I'm pleased with that. I think it'll be close. 2 bends, 1 flare, 1 union. So here's my line. Comes out of the proportionate valve, hits the firewall, down the firewall, hugs the slant, back. This would be the bottom of your floor panel on the inside. And then I need a 45 down to get around. There's a body mount right here. Get around the body mount, and then I marked a second one. But oops, I told you wrong. This is the section right here. We'll come back down, and then this will get a 45 back, and then by then we'll be ready to tie in. So it didn't need as long a piece as I had expected. I've never done custom brake lines, and so the whole thing has just been a giant learning project, and I am a slow learner. I have to mess it up a few times while I'm trying to learn it, and that gets frustrating to me, but that's how these projects go, I think, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna take out the splash shield right here so I can take this bend. You can see this is my line coming down here. I need to make a 90, and then I don't know if you can catch the edge of this line right there. You can just barely see it. They'll tie them in together. I'm gonna make this one do the long run, and then we'll just cut it back on the back side to splice it back there. Let me pop out the splash shield real quick. Just 3 or 4 little tiny bolts. Kind of. Awesome. Oh, there we go, boys. So you can see right here, I want it to make a 90, and then it's going to just shoot right in between this body mount. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. I heard a speaker say progress over perfection, and that's what I'm trying to deal with. Every bend isn't perfect. It's far from it, in fact. However, I have brake lines today where I didn't have them yesterday. So I'm going to clean up this end, deburr it. I'll probably square it up, actually. All right, guys, so here's where we're at. I don't know if you can... Here's my line. We have a nice continuous brake line, the long run, going from the front, coming down, right behind the master cylinder, joins right under, or right behind this first body mount, and then, of course, keeps on trucking all the way to the back. Get you under the rails here. You can see it comes right up here, hops over, and then whoop, comes in and catches up with that rear line, that flex line. So right now we're headed back to, I'm going to put some tie downs on this thing, and I have had good luck with riv nuts in the past, so I'm going to try that for this as well. They're small, they tuck in nicely, they make for a great hold down spot, and I'm just using just a cheap tool. I think we got this on eBay or Amazon or something, I can't remember. But the way these things work is it's a rivet. Basically it's a rivet that's got threads. So you thread this dude on right here. So if I can get this come off, thread this guy on. You rivet it into a hole that's just the right size, and then when you crimp it down, it flares, and then you unthread it, and it leaves this little brass seated piece. I say it's brass, I don't know what it is, but it leaves that piece in this case, it's going to be left in the frame rail, and then I'll use some tie downs to kind of pinch that brake line in place. So I used a different tool last time, so I don't know how well this one's going to do, but I'm going to try it and see. So you kind of have to unthread it once it's crimped, and then you're left with a tie down spot, which stays nice and tight. Here's what I have: just a silver little screw hold down piece that's going to connect with the small Allen head screw, and so it'll look really nice. And so here we go. Here's the main line. That back line coming back comes down from the proportion valve right up in here. It goes behind this splash shield. You can see right here. Comes along the outside of this frame rail. Here's my first union, or the only union, I should say. Then we slide all the way down along this frame rail here. You can see goes behind all the body mounts, behind this spring perch kind of mount right there. Goes up and over, and I did tuck just a piece of hose right on top of this guy just to keep it protected just a little bit, and it pops right up and over. Here it comes back over here, ties into the flexible line. This is all new. Of course, we moved this and mounted this onto this side. Here's the flexible line, and then let me take you up behind the differential here, and here's the new tab on the back. This was on the passenger side. Now it's mounted on the driver's side. That's existing steel line there. Comes up and over. Here's the original line. It just flipped around. Comes back over to the backing plate on the passenger side. And there it is. So we can get this master cylinder installed. Pardon my big mess here. We've been kind of wrenching on a few different odds and ends and projects, and we left this master cylinder overnight. It has been officially run through the bench bleeding process. It's Willwood. It's a Willwood master. Comes with great paperwork. I can't speak highly enough of that. They don't leave anything to question, which is super helpful. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of do a little dry fit here. Yep, that looks good. Just get it started. Thinking about this as I install this. This would have been a really great time to use some safety glasses with your face hanging right over a master cylinder. Okay, let's get this dude tightened up. All right. Boy, that looks good. My goodness. They make nice stuff. Come on now. This should about button up our brakes on the lines and stuff. We still have to hook up the hydro boost and the power steering. That's all one big happy family system, which is cool. Give it a good look over. I like it. I like the alignment. And it's coming together. Those are in. Tighten these guys back up. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. All right, let's show you what we're looking at. I'll take you over for a closer look here. So you'll see, here's my, of course, master cylinder. Comes off right off the master to the proportioning valve, and then these two guys are both front lines. I don't know if you can see those. I'll try and get in there a little bit. The foremost goes up, or I should say down and around that cross member, and then all the way over there, that's getting ready to be tied into that cross member. I'll drill and use those rib nuts to hold that down. That's my next thing. This back one goes straight down to the driver's side front, and then of course off the back of the proportion valve goes down, hits the firewall. You can see that, then down there, of course, and then you've seen all that from the back, goes under the body mounts, through the body mounts to a union, straight back to the rear. So master cylinder with the boost unit, all hard lines installed. Let's grab tape measurements, soapstone here. I'm going to make some marks, punch a few holes in this cross member. This one's going to be easier to do than this one. Again, brake lines are a lot easier before your engine's installed. Definitely should have done this differently. Try and keep that line out of there. Okay. Okay, so that'll mount those dudes. So I'm going to put this clamp right here, and I'm not going to tighten them both down super tight until I get them both kind of right in there. Tighten these dudes up. Now the good thing about the riv nuts is if you get them in place, you can really put the torque on some of these things. So just try it out. Let's see what